At the edge of the old road, there was a rule everyone followed. No one walked beyond the sign after nightfall. The road itself was ordinary. Dirt packed flat by years of footsteps, with trees standing quietly on either side. It led nowhere special, no village, no river crossing, just a narrow stretch of land people used during the day and avoided when the light began to fade. Beside the sign, an iron lantern hung from a wooden post. Its metal was dark with age. Its glass was thick and uneven, warped from years of heat and cold. It was not there to guide travelers. It was there to remind them to turn back. Every evening, villagers passed the lantern without touching it. They did not look at it for long. They did not speak near it. Some slowed their steps as they passed. Others crossed to the far side of the road. Parents pulled their children closer. Dogs lowered their heads and walked faster. No one ever said why. They did not need to. By the time the sky lost its last color, the road was always empty. Shutters were closed, doors were locked, and the forest was left to itself. That was how it had been for as long as anyone could remember. Some said the rule was older than the village itself, that the road had once led somewhere important before people learned to avoid it. The oldest houses were built facing away from the trees. Their windows never looked toward the sign. Even in daylight, people crossed the road quickly there, as if standing too long near the lantern might remind it that they were watching. Until one night, the lantern lit itself. There was no spark. No hand reached for it. No sound but the wind moving through the branches. The flame simply appeared. Steady, quiet. It did not flicker. It did not struggle against the breeze. It burned as if the air itself wanted it there. Leaves shifted along the road. Branches creaked softly overhead, but the lantern did not move. It held its light as if it had been waiting. Then, slowly, it began to swing. Not wildly, not enough to draw attention from the village. Just enough to turn toward the forest path. The path no one used. The path that narrowed as it went. The path that disappeared after the first bend. A lone traveler came upon the road not long after. He was tired. His boots were worn, and the daylight had already failed him. He saw the sign. He saw the lantern. And unlike the villagers, he stopped. He listened for something he could recognize. Footsteps, voices, the sound of a village settling in for the night. There was nothing. Only the lantern and the soft sound of the flame inside it. He raised a hand toward the light, then lowered it again. For a moment, he stood between the road and the trees, as if the night itself were waiting to see what he would choose. The traveler stepped off the road. He did not read the words carved into the wood. He did not turn back toward the village. He followed the light into the trees. The forest changed almost at once. Branches leaned inward, roots rose beneath his feet. The path narrowed until his shoulders brushed the trunks on either side. Behind him, fog gathered where the road had been. The lantern swung once more, then stopped. When the traveler turned around, the road was gone. There was no opening, no space between the trees, only fog and the sound of his own breathing. Ahead, another lantern waited. It lay on the ground beside the path, older than the first, heavier, its glass cracked and clouded, its metal eaten by rust. It was unlit. The traveler slowed his steps. He did not reach for it. He only stared, as if he already understood. The forest was quiet, too quiet. The traveler waited for the forest to react, for a branch to crack, for leaves to stir, for the lantern ahead to light. Nothing moved. The silence pressed in, thick enough that he became aware of his own breathing. He took one careful step forward. The ground felt different beneath his boot, softer, uneven, as if many others had stood there before him, long enough for the earth to remember their weight. He looked at the lantern again. Its handle was bent, its base scarred, marks left by hands that had held it too tightly, hands that had not carried it back. The forest was quiet again. No wind, no insects, no birds, just the path and the lantern that no longer burned. By morning, the road was empty. The lantern by the sign was dark again. Hanging exactly where it always had, the forest stood still as if nothing had happened, but the sign had been changed. Fresh wood had been nailed beneath the old warning. It no longer read, "Do not walk after nightfall." It read, "Do not follow the light." From that day on, everyone read the sign.